in the whole world, when you look around, starting with your own mind, your body, or the people around you, or the state of affairs around you, what you see is everything is in chaos. Yes, so everything is in chaos. And when you see something in chaos, you want to help it, whether it is your own body, whether it is someone around you, whether it is your own relationships, or things that are happening regarding business or anything else, or your job or your children. So you want to help them. And we have been trying to help ourselves and help others through various methods which had been suggested by humans for very long. And I remember there was this one brother, he came some days back and he was sharing with me. I asked him, how did you come to Gyan? So he said that my wife left the body. So when she left the body, at that time I was very heartbroken. I was almost into depression because I have been this careless person all my life, and my wife is the one who has taken care of me. But when I was very lost and heartbroken and almost slipping into depression, I didn't know what to do. And everybody who was around gave me, sympathy. So they cried with me. They always said that, whatever happened, happened, and now you have to move on. And everybody would come and they would cry with me, and I would cry with them. And after a point of time, I was very tired of this crying and crying and crying. And nothing was helping me. And then I went to the center, and then I understood the true nature of things. So he said that I understood that, the one I'm calling my wife is just a soul. And we are playing predestined parts. And when somebody's part is over, they have to take on another part. And I also understood that, this whatever I'm doing right now, that is, I'm feeling sorrowful, I'm feeling sad, that is like obstructing that soul who helped me so much in this journey to move ahead into her journey further. And I understood that I'm being such a selfish person that I am stopping that soul from progressing, whereas that soul always helped me in this journey. Just because I'm in attachment and I don't understand the true nature of things. And then I also understood that my true partner is Shiv Baba, and that Shiv Baba is always there for me. We have an eternal relationships. The other husband and wife relationship is just role based, it is temporary. And then I started remembering Shiv Baba and being a Karma Yogi, and my life took a different turn. So you see that whatever humans are doing in terms of in times of chaos and sorrow, and how they are trying to help us, is not working anymore, because no human being has any power. So you see that even if some human beings comes and cries with you, they cannot give you any energy or power, because that spiritual being himself is powerless. So Baba says that at this time, mantras, so there are many times when somebody has an illness, or somebody is going through a financial loss or a relationship problem or something else, and mostly in times of illness, people try to go to gurus and take mantras and do other stuff, and or they go to doctors and they go to they take recourse to science, and they have deep faith that somebody can cure them, and they do everything that's possible for them. But still, you see, doctors are failing, scientists are failing, and even the people who are giving mantras are failing, because despite everything, this whole world is going through a disintegrating force. And that disintegrating force is making sure that things are gradually collapsing. All the things that we thought are very that we took for granted, we thought that life or relationships or a certain amount of money or certain favorable situations will always be there, everything is being challenged these days. And Baba tells us that it is supposed to be like this. And Baba says that you have to understand the spiritual truth about everything that you see physically. So Baba says, if you keep seeing the body and you keep seeing the age of the body, or you keep seeing the physical appearance of the body, then you cannot understand why this body is diseased. So these days little children, like exactly when they are born, little children have diseases, physical ailments which are very intense in nature. And when you look at those illnesses, it makes you wonder, why is this little child having this illness? And the thing is, we don't understand that it's not a body that you are interacting with, or the person you are talking to or talking about is not a body, that's a soul in a body. And that soul is not young, that soul is not born today, that soul has had a long journey. And until you understand that this soul has had a long journey, and in that journey there is a lot of burden of sin which every soul is carrying. It's not just one soul who has a physical ailment or something. You see, every soul on earth is right now carrying a huge burden of sin with them, because since Copper Age, the souls who came from the Golden Age, they also started committing sin under the influence of vices from Copper Age onwards. And other souls also who came after the Copper Age, they have been committing sins. So that burden of sin is very huge. And Baba tells us that until and unless you considered yourself a soul, removed your attachment and your buddhi's intellect from everything else, and remembered me constantly and continuously, that that burden of sin is not going to go away. So Baba says, all the physical efforts that you are making may give you temporary solace, but the spiritual reason why there is so much chaos and suffering is that there is a huge burden of sin on every soul. And that burden of sin will not go away if somebody does some puja for you or somebody chants some mantra for you. So I remember when I was little, then we had this house, so there was this housewarming we were having, and my Laukik father got a house built, and in that house, there was this one person who had been appointed to chant mantras, and I think it was the Mahamrityunjay mantra or something, and he would just keep sitting in one corner and keep chanting the mantra all day. And my Laukik father told me that if he did this, then our house will be free of all evil, and all the problems will go away. And then I was very young, but you see that I also didn't know that I've been a knowledgeful soul for 5,000 years. So, in that moment, I said, how will my worries go away if he is chanting the mantra? Don't you think, Papa, we should chant the mantra? So, we should sit and chant the mantra if the mantra helps. So, my father said, but you see, you have to go to school and I have to go for my business. So, we don't have the time, so let him chant. So I couldn't at that time also I couldn't make sense of it, how somebody chanting mantra for me will help the house or help the family. And Baba says today, even if you chant the mantra, that's not going to help, because chanting the mantra is a physical activity. Even your mind doesn't stay stable, and even if your mind stays stable, it's not the method to burn your sins. And Baba says, only when you remove your intellect, because you see, the law says that if your buddhi yoga is with the impure world, then you cannot ensure that there will be cleansing inside. It cannot happen. So you see that everything around you is right now impure. So the first thing is remove your buddhi yoga from the old world, because if you look at it, how are majority sins created? Majority sins, I don't think that we do a lot of pap karma per se. So, how many times do you get up and shout at somebody, or how many times do you, now that we are Baba's children, we don't engage in lust, or we don't shout angry words, or we don't act out of greed. But still, you see, if you look at the burden of sins, is it increasing or decreasing? And if you look at it, how are sins being created? Sins are being created more through reaction than through action. So, if you look at it, we may not be acting out of vices, but we are always reacting out of vices. So, when you are in this old world and your buddhi yoga is with souls around you and the atmosphere around you and the events around you, then what happens is, in the old world everything is behaving very erratically, and everything is behaving in a very irresponsible way. And then what happens is, you also start reacting to everything outside. You have an emotional, mental response, and sometimes also physical response. So maybe you are very sensible and you choose your words. When you really choose to speak, you choose to use very accurate words to present whatever you are wanting to say. But let's say somebody who is around you says something very illogical all the time, and then you cannot keep your buddhi yoga detached from that. And then what you're doing is, when they are speaking illogical words, either you are using, either you are labeling them that how do you talk and is this the way to talk, or you are trying to shout at them, or otherwise, or maybe your intention is to correct, but still what you're doing is you are creating sin for yourself. Or because they are being illogical, you also start being illogical in your arguments, and you also start talking in the same language they are talking. So all of this is how we are creating and increasing our burden of sin. Or if there is a difficult situation outside, maybe I am not getting angered or flustered, but I am taking a lot of sorrow and I am crying and I am in pain. Or even if I am not crying with the eyes, I am feeling a lot of hurt and pain and fear and what is going to happen now, all that inside. So all of that is creating sin for you. So this is why Baba says that in this old world, until and unless you remove your buddhi yoga from the old world, you cannot help yourself. So, do we understand that everything that is happening around me, whether it's with the body, whether it's with the work, whether it's with the relationship, everything is just a reflection of my karmic bondage. So, as is my karmic bondage, so is the world outside for me. And Baba says that until and unless you remove your buddhi yoga from that, from the situations you are in, from the body you are in, or from the general world around you, you are just amplifying that burden of sin by constantly reacting and responding negatively to whatever is happening around you. And this is how, this is why, even if we are taking recourse to science or to, mantras or whatever, they are not working anymore, because the reason behind whatever is happening is spiritual. And when you try to find physical solutions to a spiritual problem, that's not going to happen. So Baba says now it is time that we start understanding that I am a soul, and my whole journey, in that whole journey, half of my journey has been spent in creating sin under the influence of vices. And now if I am still having buddhi yoga with the old world, then whether I realize it or not, I'm again adding to that burden of sin. And don't ever forget that most of your sins are being created not through action but through reaction. And if you look at it, I would say 80% is reaction. So, all the time, the way you're thinking about things that are happening, thinking about people's behaviors, that is what is increasing your sin. And then Baba says, when you remove your buddhi yoga from everything outside and you consider yourself to be a soul, stabilize yourself in your original qualities, and you remember me, then you will be able to burn that burden of sins. And Baba says that for this it is also important that you pay attention to purity, because if there is no purity, there is breach of celibacy, or there is food through which you are being influenced, impure food, then what happens is it's like filling the bucket from up and it's getting drained from down below, because there's a big leakage. So Baba says that in order that your yoga really helps, you have to pay attention to the leakage called purity. And then Baba says, along with that, if you have the aim and objective to find a good position in Satyug, then you have to pay attention to Seva also. Because if you don't create subjects, how will you become a king? So that is another thing. Now, this is something that we have to understand, and physical solutions to spiritual problems will not help anymore. And I remember, there was this one brother, and he went through a very difficult time, and in that time he used to run to temples and gurus and this and that, and even to the center he came, but he just came, offer bhog, or just give Baba, offer bhog Baba to Baba in my name or something like that. But he never took the effort to understand what Baba has to offer. So, he was just going by that. And after he made all these efforts, and he made really intense efforts, still the situation got worse and worse, and then he lost whatever he was trying to protect. And when that happened, he came and told me that I have no faith in God. So I have no faith in God, and I won't go to another temple anytime, or I think, a man is on his own and there is nothing that God can do. So I said, if you are trying to dictate how God has to help you, then of course God is not there for you. But if you are trying to, if you're just willing to give me some days, maybe 20, 21 days or something of your time, and just listen to God, just listen to what He has to tell you, then He can help you. How can somebody help you even if you're not even willing to listen to them? And if you are willing to listen to them, then they would help you. So he said, I will think about it and revert. But you see that people are so consumed with making effort in the direction that human beings have suggested, that they don't try to listen to what Shiv Baba is actually trying to tell them. And you see that you cannot just be stubborn about, I need a solution like this. No. Baba says there is a method to everything. And suppose, there is a stain on your cloth. Yes, and that stain is a really tough stain. Then you have to research how to remove it. Yes, you may put it into the washing machine 10 times, but it's not going away. But if you just put something else, maybe some kerosene or something, it would go away. And then that method has to be learned. So Baba says that those stains which are inside the soul today, they are not going to go away if you chant something or you make some dan dakshina. That's not going to go away that way. That stain is going to go away only when you remove your intellect's yoga from everything of the old world, consider yourself to be a soul, emerge your original qualities and make connection, have yoga with that ocean of knowledge, purity, peace, love and power. And Baba says if you kept doing this, then that burden of sins will reduce, and then the locks on your intellect will open. And then whatever you cannot understand, whatever doesn't make sense to you now, you will start having more sense of the truth. And whatever Baba is speaking in the Murli will start making sense to you when the locks on your intellect opens. And then you will be able to understand the finer details of the theory of karma. So you see that the theory of karma is very deep, and the theory of karma, in order to understand all the finer details of the theory of karma, you need a very good intellect. And that intellect is going to be there for you if you made this first effort of removing your intellect's yoga from the world and considering yourself a soul and remembering Baba. So this is something. And then Baba says that you don't need to ask me for blessings. So don't ask me for any blessings or grace. Baba says, I am your father. And does a child ask his father to bless him? So, or does the child say, Father, you should give me your property? No, the child, as soon as the child is born, the child has a right to everything that the father has. So Baba says, I don't have to give anything to you as grace. All that is mine is yours. Everything that belongs to me is yours. And when I came into Gyan, I used to always think that, why does Baba give us such deep knowledge in the first 7 days itself? I always had this question that, can't we just go a little slow? So maybe Baba could just tell us about the soul for some years, and then if we understood that I am a soul, then we could talk about Baba or something, because it's very deep knowledge and you get it all in 7 days. So, I asked one brother, and he was into Gyan, and I said, don't you think that Baba is just giving away everything in 7 days, and it's very difficult to handle, and maybe we are not the people who can even handle that? And why is Baba being like this? Can't he just go a little slow? So he told me one thing. So he said that, you see, if you're born into a family which has a certain business, and will they hide it from you when you're born? So all the things that maybe if somebody's father is a teacher, so he wouldn't hide the books from the child, because he knows that, this is my child, and I won't hide anything from the child, and all the books that are there will be lying around. Even if the child can't understand everything, or maybe the child reads the book and gets something wrong also, but still the father wouldn't hide the books from him. So our Father is the ocean of knowledge. So as soon as we come to Baba, Baba showers everything on us. And despite, we telling Baba, go slow, I can't handle, Baba would say, no, no, you're my child. I would give you everything. I wouldn't hide the biggest secrets from you, even if you're a 1-day child or a 2-day child. So Baba says, I give you everything. You have every right. Baba doesn't stop any child from, have you gone to Madhuban and have you asked for a book, and have they asked you that, are you a 5-year-old child or 6-year-old child, and I will give you this book only if you are this age? No. They would give you, if you are Baba's child, you are entitled to read any book that Baba's house has. You are entitled to read every murli that Baba has spoken. So Baba says, you are my child. You don't have to beg for mercy. You don't have to ask me, have mercy on me, or, help me. Everything that I have belongs to you. Every knowledge that I know, the peace that I have to offer, the love that I have to offer. So Baba doesn't say, all the children who have taken the course just now go out, and then I will say meethe bache to the others who have been in Gyan for long. No, every child, Baba just showers his love. Even if it's a 1-day child, Baba would just give all his love to the child. So Baba says, you don't have to beg to me for mercy. I am your father. Everything that I have is yours. But even if, just like I gave you the example of a child's father, Lokik father who is a teacher, and the books are lying around, will the child be able to read the books if he doesn't know how to read and write, or he doesn't make the effort to have the understanding to read those books? No. So Baba says that I give you everything, but I also teach you how to become eligible to take the benefit of everything. So Baba says that I teach you Gyan, Yog, Dharana, Seva. I tell you what you need to imbibe. I give you the method to remember me. I give you the method to earn blessings. And Baba says, if you did all that, then all that I am here to offer to you you will be able to imbibe that. Because you see, Baba gives us every solution. Baba is giving us all the Gyan that he has. And Baba is giving us Shrimat. Shrimat means if you just followed his directions, you would change into a deity. Those directions in themselves are designed to make you elevated. But Baba says, why are you not able to imbibe the knowledge that I am giving? Why are you not able to follow the directions that I am giving? Just take one simple direction. If you woke up at Amrit Vela and you considered yourself to be a soul and remembered Baba as the ocean of purity, love, peace and power, then your burden of sins will reduce. But how many children are able to really do that? Yes, so they are not able to do that. Why? Because we are not listening to the teacher. So every day Baba is teaching us, how to improve ourselves, how to imbibe whatever helps us to open the locks on our intellects and imbibe Gyan better and have the power to follow Baba's Shrimat. So Baba says, I am the teacher and I am teaching you the method to be eligible to follow Shrimat. And I am the Satguru and it is my duty to give you directions and I am giving that. So you don't need to ask for anything. I am giving you already more than enough. But Baba says, despite me giving you everything, you have to make effort to take benefit of it. And just like in a school, if you go and the teacher is teaching you everything and the student is not studying anything, looking out of the window, then can the teacher help? The teacher can't do anything. And it's very surprising that in the same class, there is a student who gets 100 and there's a student who gets 0. And sometimes it makes you wonder, how can somebody sit in a class all days of the week and get a 0? But Baba says that that's the wonder that children are doing, that I'm teaching everything, but if you don't study, you don't imbibe, then how will you help yourself? So Baba says, don't ask me to help you, I am already helping you. Help yourself by paying attention to study and imbibing whatever I am telling you to imbibe. And connected with this, Baba says another very important thing. Baba says that some children say that, when you talk to some children, they would say, I'm not able to get up in the morning, I'm not able to do Amrit Vela, I'm not able to purify my food. But Baba says, ask yourself, what is your effort in that direction? If you're not able to get up at Amrit Vela, what effort are you making to get up at Amrit Vela? And what is the effort you need to make? So, tomorrow's Amrit Vela is connected to the activities that I perform whole day today. So, if I am going into too much expansion of the mind, I am having a reaction to everything around me and I am all messed up inside, and then I go to bed in that state, how can I get up at Amrit Vela tomorrow? So Baba says, pay attention to today. So we need to learn the methods to make effort. And if you don't make any effort, you will repeat. So if you do what you have always done, you will get what you have always got. So if you don't make any new effort, how do you think that tomorrow you will suddenly start doing something new? So all day you have to pay attention to stay introverted. After 8 o'clock, start winding up. Don't engage in any discussion or no phone or nothing. Keep the phone aside. Have your food in Baba's remembrance or cook in Baba's remembrance, or whatever you're doing. Do it very quietly in Baba's remembrance, and 15-20 minutes, half an hour, just sit quietly in one swaman and remember Baba, and then go to sleep. And then how will you not get up at Amrit Vela? That is a question that we will ask you. So Baba says, if you make the right effort, you will be able to pay attention to all the 4 subjects. But if you're not paying any effort, making any effort, then how do you think that something will happen all of a sudden? Okay, so Baba says, make effort, don't ask for blessings and mercy. I'm already blessing you. My Gyan is my blessing. Okay, Om Shanti.